All right, guys. So if you came out for the shindig last week, welcome back. If you're here for the first time, welcome aboard. Got a few really exciting things I want to cover tonight. We'll take a look at a lot of the feedback and data we got from our last 100 plus trades. Talk about a few of the indicator updates, some new indicators, and then I know a lot of y'all have been following along here with the ranking system here on the spreadsheet. This is really good, but I think we can do a lot better than good. So what I'm going to do here at some point during the webinar is call my friend Sunil on. He's one of our developers here. He's going to jump on the mic and give you guys a brief demo on a few things we have in the works here for the ranking system, the scores, and I think you're going to love it. I'm super excited. But all right, so jumping in here, how did we get here? And like I mentioned, we launched the Big Three Squeeze Indicator last June. Did the indicator launch, had our class. The goal was, all right, let's take the indicator, take the system. Let's go get about 100 trades under our belt. All right, all following the rules, all following the system. Let's go get a good 100 trades under our belt. From that, I think we're going to get some really good feedback. What worked out well, what didn't work, where can we get better, what things should we avoid? And the feedback for the most part was pretty positive. So across these 98 trades here, and what I'm going to do, I think maybe next week or the following week, we'll get a fresh spreadsheet going. We'll kick off another 100 trades. But yeah, so we had, I think, some pretty good trading here. 98 trades, about 69 wins, 29 losses, good for a 71% win rate. And I think we could have easily said, all right, that's good. We're happy with that. We can make money on that. Let's leave good enough alone. We could be good, or we could aim to be great. And I think since you're all here tonight, you're trying to be great. So the key thing here is we took all these different trades on, index futures, cash markets, Google's, Nvidia's. Some of these were longs. It had some shorts. We're taking the 15-minute time frames, weekly time frames, 30-minute time frames. The one thing every single trade we take has in common, it's the same exact setup based on the squeeze of my 15 criteria. So if we take the trades we did and put them into two different groups, one group being here what I would call the Big 10 and the indexes. Again, all the same moment in time, the same trigger. But I found when we're taking these trades on things like the Amazons, the Netflixes, the Googles, your Teslas, your Microsofts, your AMDs, Nvidias, when we take that moment in time on those kinds of names, we do really, really well, right? 70 trades closed, 54 winners, 16 losses, good for a 77% win rate. I think really good action. Taking the same exact trades, and this is where the frustration came from. It's like, all right, I'm waking up every day, I got the same focus, taking the same trades, doing the same things. Why is it on this batch of stocks, things work out really well, borderline 80% win rate, and then I'm jumping over here to things like the Procter & Gamble, the T-Mobile, the big Marvell, Southwest Airlines. We got some Starbucks in here, the Alibaba, TJ Maxx. It's my wife's favorite. Right, same trade, same squeeze, same criteria, same everything. On these names, we go from a borderline 80% win rate down to a 50% win rate. And again, that kind of caused some frustration for me. I'm happy with 70%, but can we do better? And that feedback from tracking those trades told me, here's a few spots you can do better. So big part of it being the setup, the moment in time. The other part of it being the context around that setup. So first things first, what is the setup and the tools here? And like we've talked about before, I'm on my 9th or 10th year on this squeeze journey. Started back with the original squeeze. I graduated to the TTM squeeze. And if you guys trade a squeeze here in the chat, or any version, my version, the original, the pro version, give a shout out to the squeeze here in the chat. But yeah, I found JC, found simpler trading, found the squeeze. That became my one thing. What I did over time was, all right, I'm looking at squeezes, I'm studying them, I'm doing the whole reverse engineering thing. What I found was, all right, if I can find a squeeze in this 15 different criteria, the odds are really stacked in my favor for a nice trade. So a few basics here on all the pretty colors. And I know a lot of you guys already have the indicator, some of you don't. But I think the most important thing here would be these labels. We have the Big Three score, and then we have the trend, structure, and the momentum labels. So there's your big three. If you hear big three buy and sell signals, big three squeeze, it's a shout out to the 2008 Boston Celtics. It also stands for trend, structure, momentum. If I look at a chart, I'm thinking about getting long, thinking about getting short, looking at that through the lens of trend, structure, momentum. So these labels are basically my checklist for those three things. If we take all three of them, all three variables, I'm looking for 15 different things. Mix of the structure criteria, mix of the trend. So if we look at the weekly chart here for the XLP, green on the momentum label, green on the structure label, green on the trend label, it's got the full 15. Good rule of thumb, I don't buy a chart until we have the full 15. Let's go jump to maybe some Tesla, who I do want to buy here ideally sometime soon. A little bit more mixed. We have bull trend, bull structure, bear momentum. Red label is bearish. It's not a bad chart, but it's only 10 points out of 15. I don't want to pick favorites. Objectively, XLP is about 5 points better. So a few basics there on the scoring system. Let's maybe look at a random name here in Boeing. Yeah, Boeing not too shabby, but you're not getting the full 15. So a few basics there on the trend, structure, momentum labels in the scoring system. And again, this all kind of started off as how can I trade a good squeeze? It's turned into that scoring system pretty much being the heartbeat of everything. So we got the scoring system. We have the colored candles here. These are your short-term buy and sell signals. Again, basic big three criteria. Green candle is bullish. Everything lined up for path of least resistance towards the upside. A little bit rare in this market, a red candle would be a sell trigger. It's kind of like a dinosaur lately. It's a thing of the past. And a blue candle is just neutral. So another good rule of thumb, I never get long or short on neutral. I found you have not enough edge. Only get long on the green candle, only get short on the red candle. So by default, we're not doing too much shorting as of late. Got our labels, have our scoring system. We have the big three buy and sell signals on our color candles. And then we have the big guy down here, the big three squeeze. So it's a little bit different from the original version and the pro version. The major theme being here, I've tied in these 15 points. Anytime down here in the histogram you see either a green or a white arrow, that's my moment in time. There's a combination of compression from your squeeze. By default, the squeeze says what? I am catching my breath. I'm drinking Gatorade, eating some carbs. I'm trying to build up the energy for what could be a pretty big push around the corner. We take that squeeze, figure out timing and direction. We do that through the big three. But again, anytime you see the white or the green arrows on that histogram, that's our moment in time. Every trade we've taken on that spreadsheet, that's the trigger. Compression from the squeeze and your full 15 directional criteria. That one moment in time makes for a very strong, repeatable process. And look, I think you guys could just take that. Like, all right, Taylor, I'm going to take your squeeze, I'll take your arrows, and I'm out of here. That'll put you in a better position than most traders. Again, we want to be really good. So if we look at the Google monthly chart, who's a total beaut right now, a beaut I might have to buy in a pullback. All right, what's up here on the Google monthly chart? Take a peek at our checklist. We have good momentum behind it. We have the proper structure. Trend is bullish, full 15. And then that label, that green A+ setup, what does that mean? Another reminder, you got your moment in time. Monthly chart building up energy, squeeze printing. Momentum says let's go for a breakout. Trend and structure say let's go for a breakout. In our book, that's an A+ setup. We don't trade B+, we don't trade A-. A+ or bust. Now, one of the updates here is for the green arrow. So since last year, we've had the white arrow. White arrow just meaning, hey, here's a squeeze and a score of 15. One of my focuses here for our next 100 trades, taking these same moments in time, but working the ideal entry. Think if we can rack out another 70, 75% win rate over the course of 100 trades and we're taking better entries, it's a bigger, better bottom line for us. So the green arrow means what? Squeeze setting up, energy building up, trend is beautiful, structure lines up, all the bells and whistles. You're finding that moment in time in what I think is a sweet spot for the best risk-reward entry. Good rule of thumb. Find the trigger. If it's bullish, we build that position above that 21 EMA. We cut bait on a break below that 21. So you're back here buying Google on that monthly green candle. Yeah, you're long for maybe 133. I would teach you probably take your exit down around maybe 110, a little bit lower. Now, granted, much bigger time frame. You're looking at 20-25% risk in exchange for a push towards that target closer to 45-50%. So it's not a matter of, hey, can I find a good-looking squeeze? Can I find a good-looking squeeze? Then work a really ideal risk-reward. So that's your brand new green arrow. And I found that really helpful. So if you look at Broadcom, it's really a matter of, all right, if I don't have that green arrow, if I can't find it at the sweet spot, we could jump in, we could buy it on the white arrow. Are we comfortable sitting through a pullback to that 21 EMA? Things we'll talk more about, but if we look at Broadcom on the 4-hour from last week, on that one given time frame, and the key I found is you don't fall in love with that one given time frame, but on that 4-hour chart, there's our pitch. Squeeze sets up, you're waiting, you finally get the white arrow. They're cranking down a couple of green arrows. It makes for a good, repeatable trade. Do they work every time? No. If you can take them in the right setting, we found they can work 70 to 77% of the time. We'll talk more about the right setting. All right, find your green arrow, build your position, exit below that 21 EMA, play for a push towards the extension. All right, that being said, over here on these watch list columns, these are basically my best friend. I got my futures, we got the cash markets, the Big 10 basket, the focus list. I wake up and look at that and say, all right, where's the immediate plate of opportunity? Based on a squeeze, 15 directional criteria, and a really good entry. So if we look at, I'll detach it here. If we look at the XLP on the monthly, the weekly, and the 3-day time frame, we've got a nice bright green A+. All right, so I'm going to pull up the XLP on that monthly chart. And then there on that watch list column, what does that bright green A+ mean? We got a live one, and we got it at the sweet spot. Big monthly squeeze, perfect score of 15. It's an A+ setup. Green arrow, got it where I want it. Right, the kind of thing you would look for a long and play for a push into 92 and change. My target is about $7, $8, $9 higher. My exit is about $3 lower. Here's the beauty. You don't need a 70, 75% win rate to make that kind of thing work. But I think we can do both. We're going to try to do both. So XLP, beautiful on your monthly chart. Now, what if we look at what about that darker green A+ here on the 4-hour XLP? What's a darker green A+ mean? All right, you've got your moment in time. Your squeeze is setting up. You're checking all the boxes. It's not at the sweet spot. You could jump in and buy it, or you wait for one ideally near that buy zone. What does a blue B3 mean? That's a neutral squeeze. We don't trade neutral squeezes. I think of anything, that's by far the toughest to trade. Apple, or better yet, let's go look at, Apple on the weekly chart. This would be a neutral squeeze. No immediate buy trigger, no immediate sell trigger. Translation, not enough immediate edge. I think I told you guys last week I had my first 6-figure month back in December of last year. This was about a quarter of that. Here comes Apple, and again, here's the beauty. Apple's doing nothing for it's August, September, October, November, and then something's happening. Squeeze printing, we're getting the green arrows, white arrows. Apple's basically trying to scream, hey, pay attention. I might be up to a big move here sometime soon. All right, we caught that, and that made for, again, about a quarter of my first 6-figure month. The good news is I think a few things may be trying to shape up here in the background. Next handful of weeks, handful of months, similar to the Apple. Do I fall in love with the idea of, I'm going to buy every Apple weekly squeeze I find and I'm making that $25,000 every time? I can't think that. The current weekly squeeze, and we can look at it, right? 10 points out of 15, momentum's pretty good, good trend. Put a gun to my head, I'll jump in and buy it. It leans bullish. I've got 5 more things working in my favor back here and a better entry. Any cash I might want to throw out that Apple weekly squeeze right now. Here's where our discipline comes in. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep that cash. Then the day comes, Apple looks like that again. Guess what? I'm buying 2, 3, 5 times more. Less trades, more size. So again, that's that one time frame point of view. Got the watch list columns, all those great things, and then 2 new indicators here. One would be what I would call the big 3 squeeze bars. Pop these up real quick, and then we'll getting into the good stuff. Haven't even hit you guys with the good stuff yet. All right, so let's go back to, again, here's your Apple Weekly. So what these big 3 squeeze bars do is they color code the candles. You'll only have color on your chart when there's action to take. We don't care if the chart is bullish. We don't care if it's bearish, neutral, 10 points, 11 points. If they want to give you that moment in time, you'll get your bright green candle or your dark green candle. Let's go look at the Google monthly chart. All right, pulls back, farting around, a lot of chop, big, beautiful bright green candle, and a big breakout. And they pull back for a bit, they rally, they chop. It's a lot of nothing, brand new bright green candle. Look at this one, guys. We haven't broke out yet. Squeeze hasn't fired yet. We're nowhere near that 230 target. You're picking up Google back there in the first green candle. It's already up 15, 20+% in your favor. There's the power of a squeeze, all that criteria in a great entry. So these can make our job just visually finding them a little bit easier. Easy on the peepers. What about XLP here on the 3-day squeeze? Timing and direction. We have to call for it. XLP gave you a 3-day squeeze it started back in the first week of April. I don't want to be the guy buying a call or a put in April. And I'm rolling through May, I'm rolling through June, July, August, September, and I got nothing to show for it. Now the green candle says, all right, you were patient. Now you think about jumping and getting long, you might quickly have something to show for it. Let's go take a peek at one more here. What about the Tesla 15-minute? Is there a squeeze? Yes. Is there a bright green or a bright red candle? No. I don't have a trade here. So there's one new tool. The other one would be the entry label. And a few of these are kind of repetitive in terms of they're telling you the same thing. But I want that constant reminder. So the big 3 squeeze labels, little dip here on the NQ. Right, big 3 squeeze labels, basic stuff here. Google on the monthly chart. Dark green label, beautiful squeeze, all the criteria. Think about the entry. Might be good, might not be great. XLP on the monthly squeeze, bright green candle. Again, another reminder, you got her at the sweet spot. So yeah, a few basics there, guys, on the scoring labels, the trend, the structure, momentum, the big 3 squeeze, the arrows. And again, what we found was, hey, when that one moment in time can come together on one time frame, it can make for great trades. The issue was we get caught up in situations where, all right, here comes the financials. And man, they've got this beautiful 1-hour squeeze. We jump in, we're buying calls, we're all getting giddy. And we didn't really see the fact that the 4-hour chart's kind of lame. The weekly chart is neutral and the daily chart is bearish. Yeah, you found a good-looking moment in time on one time frame. That's good. How can we be better? So then we figured out, all right, if we take these 15 different things, the trend, momentum, structure, if we take those criteria, apply them across the 8 time frames I like to trade, all right, that's your weekly chart, your 3-day time frame, 2-day time frame, daily 4-hour, 2-hour, hourly, and the 30. What if we took the 15 criteria, we checked the stock across those 8 different time frames, with that top to bottom view, what's the strongest stock possible? One with 120 points in its favor. So, little peek here at that spreadsheet. The only name here on the board tonight with 100% would be the XLP. Weekly time frame, 3-day time frame, all the way down to the 30-minute time frame. They've checked for structure, they've checked for trend, all 15 things. It's got them all. That, my friends, is pretty impressive. So that was kind of like the aha moment. Here's one way we can immediately get better. Don't fall in love with one time frame. Try to find that perfect squeeze on these names showing really good alignment. We might be buying off the hourly. It might be 4-hour chart for XLP. Take into consideration the bigger picture. If I jump in and buy my 15-minute time frame, am I going counter trend the 30? If I jump in and get short off of the daily time frame, am I going counter trend the weekly? Or if I find a situation where, all right, I'm going to jump in, I'm going to buy the 15-minute squeeze, but man, the weekly chart, the 3-day time frame, the daily time frame, the 4-hour, the 5, I look below, I look above, everything's poised for a push in my favor. That shift of focus by default, really, really big results. So that got us thinking. If that works out well for a name like Broadcom, where we jumped in and bought it last week on that 4-hour squeeze, not because only that 4-hour squeeze, but because the weekly, the 30-minute, the hourly, the 4-hour, top to bottom, AMD was just, or Broadcom rather, basically locked and loaded. Weekly super bullish, hourly super bullish. There's context and edge around that one time frame. That'll give you better results. So that got me thinking, all right, if that's a great way to gauge how strong is a stock, is it bearish, is it neutral, let's take that a step further, turn this more into a bird's eye view of the market, and really get that 40,000-foot view of, am I in a bull market? Is it neutral? Should I be thinking about day trades and scalps? Should I be thinking about swing trading? And more importantly, where should I do that? I've got no infatuation here with Broadcom. We bought it because you had a 4-hour squeeze. At the time, you had a really good QQQ behind it, and the SMH was like top dog on the board. Now think of all the edge. It might begin with a 4-hour chart. I've got 7 other bullish timeframes around it. I've got a great market behind it, and it's part of the best sector. If we can make that our repeatable process, it's going to be awesome. So that became the, that gave birth to the spreadsheet here. Looking at the indexes, looking at my Big 10 basket, looking at the sector ETFs, top 20 bull, top 20 bear. This does the work that I can't do. Not enough caffeine or other substances out there, I think, to do all this work. To figure out the rankings here for the indexes, we're looking at 5 different tickers, 8 different time frames each, 15 different checklist points. That is 600 different things. That if I want to trade at my best, I have to know. Are the Qs the strongest? Is the Dow the weakest? Are we bullish, we bearish? That does that for me. So as of tonight's close, we have the RSP with 110 points. She's top dog, 92% of max strength. Dow Jones in second place. And then if you're following along here, here's our shift over the last week. QQQ is not top dog anymore. We had 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. Qs were top 1, top 2, 90%, 100%. That makes for great trades in big tech names. When the Qs drop down to 28%, if I keep on showing up taking the same trades, they're not going to work in the same fashion. We got to gauge the indexes, or the sectors rather. Who's leadership? Where might I want to go look for a Broadcom 4-hour squeeze kind of trade? 20 tickers, 8 different time frames, 15 data points. That is 2,400 things we got to look at. I don't have that time. Big 10 basket, my favorite names. 10 names, that is another 1,200 points. If we look at the top 20 bull, top 20 bear, we're talking another 4,800 things. That's about 9,000 different things on this one homepage. So I can wake up and figure out what? Number 1, am I in a bullish, bearish, or neutral market? There's our change this week. We went from bullish to neutral bullish. I can't ignore that. We get into markets where it's easy to make money. The market's got a real knack of taking that money back from you. That's on that shift from gap it up, pump it, to everything's taking a breather. The scores here communicate that pretty clearly. Qs aren't scorching anymore. They're not bearish. You don't got to go load the boat on puts on them, but something has changed. Bullish, bearish, neutral market. Got to figure that out. Am I day trading, swing trading, all the above? Big size, cutting my size in half, and then sectors. Again, I love the Googles, I love Amazons, I love trading Teslas, Nvidias. These trades on those names worked out really well because it had that alignment. Great QQQ behind them, strong S&Ps, indexes are strong, SMH is rocking and rolling, strong XLK, just edge on top of edge on top of edge. I think we'll keep on getting similar results if you wait for that moment in time. If we force the issue, all right, I like the semiconductors, so I'm going to buy the semiconductors. The SMH drops to 16th place. The thing's got 26% of its best score. Again, it's not a great short. That's maybe AMAT, SMCI. It's not what it was 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 days ago. When it was top 2, 3, 4, we had some great trades there. Where's my Big Ten basket? 15th place. She has taken a tumble. XLK's in 17th, so objectively, if I do want to wake up tomorrow and say, hey, where's leadership? Where's relative strength? Where can I go look for my moment in time? If I'm doing that on the SMH, XLK, the ARK ETF, Bitcoin Energy, that's a decision based on something other than just objective edge. I like the semis. Well, that's not going to cut it. XLP top dog, 100%. I put that in my squeeze watch list and boom. I wake up tomorrow till things change. XLP has a monthly, a weekly, a 3-day, a 2-day, 4-hour, 15-minute squeeze. I can jump in, look for a shot on. Watch as columns doing their job. 15 minutes, kind of lame. 2-day chart, 4-hour chart, they're good, not the best entry. That monthly, weekly, 3-day time frame, yeah, they've got it going on. That'll be a big focus tomorrow. Love the SMH, love big tech. They'll be the active focus when they're back up here top 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I want to look for a short tomorrow. Well, I don't want to go pick on the biggest guy on the jail yard. So I'm not going to go short XLP or ABBV, Johnson & Johnson. I'm going to go pick on a pipsqueak like AMAT, VRTX, Lilybell, EOG. Looking at about 5,000 different things, making all those business decisions for me. All right, Taylor, here's the market you're in. Regardless of your own biases, opinions, or thoughts, here's your market. Here's your index leadership. Here's your rankings. Here's your sectors top 1 through 20. Big 10 basket, top 20 bull, top 20 bear. Now I know what I got to do. Got my focus. Are we thinking long, thinking short, day trade, swing trade? And those are decisions I can't make on my own, looking at all that data. That's how you get caught up in, I run a scan before bed, I find a nice daily squeeze in Kroger. I jump in, get the team long Kroger. Lo and behold, Kroger's part of, at that point, the weakest sector on the board. The trade we had in Kroger is literally the complete opposite of every one of these trades. Indexes behind them, sector leadership behind them, locked and loaded. Kroger is just, hey, I got a good-looking squeeze. Jump in, we'll see what's up. Not going to cut it if we want to be great. So here's where we're at, guys. This has been really helpful for me, really helpful, I think, for a lot of you here in the room. It's good. I think we could turn this up about 5,000 notches. That being said, I think we've kind of outgrown the spreadsheet format. So look, I can keep on filling out the basics here, the indexes, all the above. We want to take this, turn this into something we can all utilize for years to come. And again, if you like what it can do now, yeah, it's about to get a lot better. So that being said, I'm going to open up the mic here for my friend Sunil. Like I mentioned earlier, Sunil is one of our developers here. And yeah, I don't know how he does what he does. I kind of impressed myself here on the spreadsheet. Look at me go. I got colors. I've got sorting. Yeah, what these guys are working on here in the background is pretty insane. So Sunil, my friend, the floor is yours. Jump on for a few minutes. Give the folks here a brief demo. After that, guys, I'll jump back on the mic with you, get you all caught up, and then, yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about what we got in the works here. So I think you're going to enjoy this. Sunil, all yours.
All right, quick sound check. Can you guys hear me?
You're good, my friend. Awesome.
Perfect.
And if you want to go ahead, Sunil, you can share your screen as well.
Yep, will do. Yeah, so we just wanted to give you a sneak peek of what's the next evolution of Taylor's spreadsheet essentially. Keep in mind this is still under development and subject to change, but wanted to again give you a quick sneak peek. So this is we've taken the spreadsheet and turned it into a full-fledged web application, right? So you can see this is your home screen, and you have the same table, tab there, Big 10, focus watch list, your indices, your market summary. The cool thing with this is fully interactive, right? So you can sort by any column, right? You can filter by any column. Uh, the data updates live throughout the day, right? Obviously, market is closed, so no data is updating. But if you had this open during the trading day, you'll see things move around and numbers change around as we are, getting new data and updating all of these numbers. Cool couple of interactions. The focus watch list, right? Taylor can always click on any grid, right? Right click, and let's say he wants to, XLP is one of the strongest ones, right? The strongest one. So he can right click and put it in focus, add to focus watch list. And then every one of the members that have it open will see immediately that XLP is in focus for today. Again, works on any grid, right? And then when something is no longer in focus, he can just right click here and remove it from the focus watch list. So that's really cool in that you can, he can alert you real time on what he is watching. We've also added a My Watch List feature, and this is for you, right? For every single member to have their own watch list that they can add things to keep in focus, right? So I can say, for whatever reason, I like Microsoft, and I want to add it to my watch list, and it will appear there. And only I will be able to see Microsoft in there. Taylor is not going to have Microsoft in his watch list, right? Unless obviously he adds it to his watch list. And then, I can continue to add that from any grid and then eventually remove it from my watch list. It's just as simple as that. Another thing is you can see we have kind of like a calendar picker here. So it defaults to 8/20, which is today. Whenever you open up the application, it will default to today, which means live data. The cool thing with this is you can go back, and as long as we have collected the data for that trading day, you'll be able to see it. So I can say, what was the data like on Monday? And go to Monday, and you can see everything will change here. So now, it all looks different. All the scores look different. If you have something under my watch list or the focus watches, that will still remain, but it will give you, the scores for Monday. And then you can quickly go back to today and go back to, live mode. So that's the home screen. Then we have the main list, and this is, every ticker that we track kind of exploded with showing all of the timeframes, right? And you can see it's 170 total right now that we're showing. We've added quick filters at the top here that with the click of a button, you can change the content of the main list, right? So by default, it's showing all. If you click on top 20, it shows you can see change it to total of 40, and it's top 20 bullish at the top and top 20 bearish at the bottom because I'm sorted by strength. I can change that, right? I want the weakest at the top for whatever reason, right? You can go to Big 10 and it shows you the Big 10, same ones that are in the main screen. We've added sector information to each of these tickers, and this allows us to do really cool stuff. Like these are example filters. Again, we're playing with these, thinking what we're going to include to give you guys the best, bang for the buck. But this is fintech, for example. So when I click it, it's going to give me all technology and financials only, right? And that's total of 81. We can get really, this is just really filtering in the sector column. We can have multiple filters and say this is going to, strong consumers is the name of this filter. So this is giving me consumer cyclicals and non-cyclicals that are greater than 75% strength, right? So we're going to be able to include, with the click of a button, give you the information that you want very, very quickly. Now, these are the predefined filters. However, you as a user can filter on anything you want, right? Let's say you do, you only trade the strongest on the weekly, right? So you can put 15 there and you can see all of the weeklies 15. And then, for whatever, you also, you trade on the 30-minute time frame, right? And you only trade like 13 and up. And there you go. That's you go from 170 total stocks to showing only the 10 that you want. And from here, you can also right click, add to my watch list. Then you go back to home and, ADI is right there. With again, any combination of filters you can create on the grid. And with the click of one button, you can reset all filters to kind of go back to, your all list essentially. This all, works as well with the what we call historical mode, right? So right now is again, we're not live, but it's showing the data for today. I can go back and see the data for Monday, and this will change to show me the data as of the close of Monday, right? So going back to today, I'll touch on a couple of other things that we added here in a second, but let's go back to the squeeze radar so you can, the same squeeze radar that was on the spreadsheet is still replicated here, and you still have the same ability to, sort and filter and, rearrange columns if you want to, right? So what we want to do here though is take the squeeze concept and apply it to the main list. So something that we're playing on with is adding squeeze information to the main list as well, right? So you can see, we'll touch on the squeeze in a second, but you can also have, the list of columns here, and you can actually toggle on and off columns. So if you're a trader that, I don't know, only cares about the weekly and the 30-minute, well, just enable those, right? And just leave it like that. Now, we've added this squeeze column that basically shows a check mark if any of these time frames have an active squeeze. It only needs one active time frame, one active squeeze on any time frame, and this will get a column. And then this squeeze only filter here, it basically shows, it just removes all of the tickers that don't have any active squeezes on. So with the click of a button, it allows you to kind of hone in on the trades that, if you only really trade squeezes, well, just apply this filter and then you're only seeing the stuff that has squeezes. Now, this is great because it shows you that there is a squeeze going on. You just don't know which time frame is on. So we've added this toggle as well. And if I turn it on, you can start seeing now all of these arrows, right? And all of these arrows this is the B3 squeeze, kind of like the subpar setup, right? And then the arrow with the circle, it shows you the A plus. So now you have visibility on not only all of the tickers that have a squeeze on, but you know exactly which time frames the squeeze is on and what type of squeeze it is, right? So again, very, very powerful. I can go back to all and keep the squeeze indicator on, and it's going to show me, across all of the stocks that I have visible. And I can turn it off. So it's user preference at that point. Another thing we're playing on is trying to give you more information based on the data that you see on the grid, giving you a different way of consuming that data, right? So we've again, this is under development still, but something for you guys to keep in mind. We've added this analytics. So when you click it, we've had two example analytics, right? So strength distribution. These are quartiles of the strength across the data in the grid, right? So there are 26 stocks in this grid right now that are between 175%. If I go back to like the weakest stocks, well, I'll have 3 between -75 and -100%. very, very quickly, allows you to see how the strength is distributed. Same thing on the right here, average sector strength. So we've taken the strength of each stock for each sector and averaged them together, and this is exactly what it shows. So again, with a glance, it shows you, hey, utilities is the strongest sector based on the data on the grid right now. Now the cool thing is you can interacting with either the grid or the chart modifies the data as well. So if you have this open and you say, I just want to see the strongest stocks and click on that, everything turns off. You can see I only have 26 stocks. They're all 94 to like 76%. So anything above 75%. And it's just super quick filtering, right? You know, in the inverse, I can just say, give me the weakest stocks and click on that. And it just takes me right to the weakest stocks. I can do a combination. I want to say weakest and strongest, right? So I can click both, control click, right? And then now have the weakest and strongest on the grid. And it also affects, the average sector. So this is showing you out of these 29 stocks, this is the distribution here on the sector strength. I can also interact with the sector. So I just want to see financials. I click there and it's just showing me financial stocks. Or I just want to see utilities. Or, I just want to see technology. Or I want to see a combination of both, right? Technology, energy, and financials. So it's very, very quickly getting you the information that you want. It also works the other way around. I can filter on the grid and I can say, I'm going to reset all filters and I can say, give me basic materials and consumers. And you can see the charts update accordingly, right? So very, very powerful. Trying to come up with the right information to show you guys. And yeah, this is what's coming up. Back to you, Taylor.
So Neil, you're doing such a good job. Do you want to do the rest of the webinar?
I'm good.
All right, guys. Yeah. So how freaking cool is all that? And here's a crazy thing. Like we're just getting going here. So the limits are basically endless. Anything you guys can think of, different time frames, different variables for rankings. It's Sunil's told us he can pretty much do anything we could think of. So yeah, Sunil, thank you so much for jumping on, man. That was really that was a really good walkthrough there. And,
No problem.
looks like folks here in the room are pretty excited. So Sunil, you can jump off, my friend. Thank you again. I know you got a few kids at home there looking to hang out with you before bedtime.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, thank you, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, sounds good.
All right, brother. But all right, guys. Yeah. So that's been the project here in the background. Take the rankings, take the sheet, take all of the pretty columns, colors, and yeah, I think we turned it up a couple of thousand notches there. So listen, I'm super excited. If you're already a member of my room, you have nothing to do. You're good. Sit tight. More on that coming. Let's look at a few different packages here, guys, in terms of how can we get you in here early. And again, to be really clear, we're still going through the early development. I've got a few things I want to add. Got a few suggestions here in the chat in terms of, hey, could we add a 15-minute score? Could we add a 5-minute score? Again, we can pretty much do anything, so we're an open book. We're here for suggestions. But again, this is all pretty early, so in terms of the, let's call it the beta access, if you're in my room, when we launch this, I think a few weeks from now, a couple more weeks will be ready. When we launch a beta version, if you're in my room, you'll get access free of charge for 90 days. After the 90 days, and again, all things we still have to figure out, it'll then be a separate product. The pricing of that at the time of release, we're really not too sure on. But again, if you're in my room for 90 days, once it's live, you'll be one of our first beta testers. And again, what I'm asking for is just any suggestions. You want different time frames. One thing I saw in the chat here was how many stocks can we look at? Basically any stock you can think of. So one thing Sunil's working on right now is taking that database and turning it into, I think, 3,000 different tickers. Or better yet, adding 3,000 different tickers. So it's real time, automatically sorted, automatically updated. And I love that one feature where you can go back and look at different days. So one thing I want to do, I think we'll do it in my room together. Let's go back and look at a few of our best trades and worst trades. What did the rankings look like on that trade? Like I know for sure if I go back and look at my XLP trade, as I already know, it wasn't a great trade because of the XLP, my Kroger trade rather. So again, if you're in the room when we launch it here in a few weeks, 90 days of free access, and for the rest of y'all, a couple of packages. And then hang out here for a little bit more, guys. I do want to build you a quick watch list. A few things are shaping up here for tomorrow, and any questions, anything I want to look at, Q&A, we shall keep on hanging out. But yeah, I thought I was excited for the indicator launch last year. I mean, now we have such an amazing framework around, all right, what do I go and do with the indicator? But all right, guys, a couple of different packages here. So again, if you already own the indicators or you're in my room, well, if you're already in my room, you're going to get access to that dashboard for 90 days once it's live. If you're not in my room, but you have the indicators from last year, the big three signals, big three squeeze, make sure you're logged into the website. You guys get a special offer. If you can't find that on the website, reach out to the customer service team here. I'll share the contact info in a second. Reach out to them. They'll get you sorted. All right, but a few packages here. We'll keep on going on. So for members of any of our rooms, could be my room, could be JC's room, the main room, any simple room, you have the basic package for $447. That's access to the updated indicators. All right, big three squeeze, brand new arrows, access to the big three squeeze signals, white arrows, watches, columns, the squeeze, access to the new entry labels, access to the new, a lot of squeeze words here, access to the new big three squeeze bars. That will not give you access to the upcoming strategy session, the big three score system, again, beta access only. Working on that, and then you won't get access to the mastery. So again, if you're part of our rooms here, $447, all the indicators and all the tools. For $897, the Pro package, you get all the indicators plus a quarterly access to the mastery. And here's what I want to do, guys. Like, take the tools, take the beta version, give me a few months of your time and dedication. I'm going to work my ass off and make it worth your while. I think we're really putting something pretty special together here. So the Pro package, $897, all the indicators, access to the strategy, the Saturday strategy class. That class will be on Saturday the 30th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. That's August 30th. You'll get 90 days of access to the beta version of the new dashboard, a quarterly access to the mastery, and all the other goodies there. Now, for those of y'all who are not a member of the rooms here, you have the basic package at $497. That's all your indicators. And then for the Pro package at $997, that's all the indicators, the squeeze histogram, the arrows, the watch list columns, the scans, all the goodies. Access to the Saturday strategy class, access to the 90-day beta version, and then, of course, the quarterly access here to the mastery room. And I think we got a couple tabs here as far as my schedule in the room, which, frankly, we maybe got to find room for one more session here is as we start rolling out that beta version. I think we'll have some things to discuss. But yeah, so here's my schedule. Saturdays, schedule willing, I jump on the mic at around 9 a.m. Central. Now the current process is, all right, let's look at our pretty spreadsheet, indexes, sectors, top 20. A few weeks from now, the process is going to be basically supercharged on steroids. We can look at 3,000 plus stocks in like 15 seconds. Who's got the best weekly chart? Who has the best 15-minute, 5-minute? All that data right at our face, super easy. So we do our Saturday prep sessions at 9 a.m. and then we have the pre-market prep sessions, Mondays and Wednesdays at 7:45 a.m. Central. Additionally, I'm live on the mic for an hour, Monday through Thursday, 8:20 a.m. and 9:30 a.m., or 8:20 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., and also live on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Central. But again, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking if we're launching this supercharged, steroided, I'll think of a better name. But as we're launching this beta version, we maybe got to sneak in a Friday session. So we might go ahead and do just that if y'all think that sounds good. But again, if you guys want more information, and like I mentioned, if you already have the indicators from last year, y'all can reach the customer support here at 512-266-8659. And then email would be support@simplertrading.com. And then we have the interest-free payments here with the PayPal credit. You click the product you would like, add it to your cart, tap on the PayPal credit button, and you apply for a line of credit through PayPal with 0% interest for 6 months. Now, if y'all can find me a 30-year mortgage at 0% interest, please let me know. But yeah, guys, I'm super excited. Like, this to me is just way, way bigger than last year. And I think the tools we launched last year, I mean, we got the proof in the pudding, right? We could just make it run a scan, show me a pretty squeeze. I do think you're going to be ahead of most retail traders. Let's get ahead. Let's get much further ahead. I think this is the ultimate combo now. We got the moment in time. We have that weapon. Compression, all the structure, the trend. All right, there's my pitch, but where am I taking it? And yeah, it's nice to have these, 10 different big tech names. We have, 20 different sector ETFs. With the beta version, we open this up to, realistically, pretty much everything in the market. And then you guys can come in, you can build your own watch list, you can add your own variables, you can do your own sorting. Yeah, I'm pumped. I think the limits are pretty endless as far as what we can do here together. But all right, guys, real quick here, allow me maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And based on the spreadsheet, that old thing, so for tomorrow, where are we? We are in a neutral bullish market, and we went from a bullish market. That tells me what? Take a breather, pump the brakes, Junior. Don't be in a big rush for your next home run. Don't be in a big rush for your next trade. The conditions have changed, mainly for the things I like to trade. I can't wake up tomorrow and buy the 15-minute NVIDIA squeeze and think I'm doing that under the same context as 2, 3, 4 weeks ago. So tomorrow, we're looking at the RSP in first place, the QQQ in last place. XLP's pretty sharp, financials, utilities. So again, one I have to look at tomorrow by default, XLP. Number one for my sectors. Top dog on the board. Beautiful monthly squeeze, beautiful weekly, beautiful 3-day squeeze, 2-day squeeze, 4-hour, 15-minute. If you guys can give me a quarter in the room, here's the most important thing I'll teach you. That moment in time won't work every time. But if we can do all this work in terms of the market, the sectors, the rankings, relative strength, the entry, the exit, all those thousands of things being taken into consideration, it's what Mark Douglas talks about. Your edge plays out in that repeatable process. Not your next trade, not your next 2 trades, your next 25, 50, 100. Our first 100 together, I'm pretty happy. Our next 100 together, which will kick off here in a week or two, I think are about to do a lot better. And the demo version, that'll be our new weapon of choice. So for tomorrow, guys, I'm initially going to look at the XLP. And what I'll do in the room tomorrow, we'll go through a few of the XLP holdings. Maybe a few of them look slightly better than the XLP. And I can't let you guys go in without showing you some new daily squeezes. Now, here's the kicker, right? If we pull up the NVIDIA daily, what don't we see? I don't have a green A+ setup label. I don't have 15 points. I don't have a green arrow down here. We don't care about too much more beyond that. Oh, it's got bear momentum. It's got good structure. Here's the trend, 8 points. We don't care. Give me a squeeze. Give me the full 15. Then I go look at my spreadsheet. What does NVIDIA have behind it? And what's our context? Behind NVIDIA is the SMH taking a decent chill. All right, I maybe don't want to be the first guy to buy NVIDIA, but on the pullback here, we have gotten some brand new daily squeezes. One for NVIDIA, one for the AMD, and then one for Broadcom. And I believe one for the actual SMH itself. So here's what I would do in the past. Oh boy. All right, getting all giddy. Here comes NVIDIA. Here comes Broadcom, my favorite stocks, daily squeeze. And I'm jumping in and just, buying calls left and right. Nothing says we do that right now. Not the setup, not the score, not the trigger, not the rankings. These could be great trades down the road. What I'm waiting for is that picture to be painted. So one immediate idea for tomorrow we could consider would be the XLP. Strongest sector, bunch of beautiful squeezes. In the background, coming up the pipeline maybe, NVIDIA daily squeeze, Broadcom, AMD. There's a big old weekly squeeze here for Tesla. That could be a great trade if we can get that green arrow. Green arrow and top 2, 3, 4 on the board. There's our combo. There's a nice monthly squeeze shaping up here for Amazon. Beautiful monthly squeeze here for Google. So yeah, I think everything's coming together here with good timing. We have a good market. We got brand new squeezes setting up. We're doing the, watching that demo version. I think it's going to be a really fun, really exciting 2, 3, 4, 5 months ahead here. But all right, y'all, that is my story. I am sticking to it. Really appreciate you guys coming to hang out again. So any questions you all have, anything you want to look at, any chart requests, anything you got, suggestions for the demo version, we're here for. Again, anything you can think of, we can pretty much do there as far as getting that beta version going. Y'all want different time frames. You want different sorting criteria, different abilities to build watch lists. You guys want some charts. It's going to be a fun process. But all right, let me pop into the chat here. Yeah, Brian, what's up in the old Starbucks? Okay, so at one point last year, we bought Starbucks. And what I can tell you with a pretty good degree of confidence is I fell in love with a good-looking chart. I don't think it had a great market behind it. I don't think it was the strongest name on the board, part of the strongest sector. And that leads to I'm batting 50%. Run my scans, find a nice setup, and off I go. I'm getting busy. Can we make money on a 52% win rate? We definitely can. Can we make more money and do it in an easier fashion, closer to 80%? You better believe it. But yeah, how's current day Starbucks? Oh, good call out here. Good call out. So here's the first thought that pops in my mind. I could short this 100 times in a row, and I strongly believe I'm going to be very profitable. The thought is not, hey, if I get short here tomorrow, because we have a squeeze, we have a red arrow, negative 15, broken structure. This thing's a textbook short. It's not a guaranteed paycheck, but this offers a lot of edge. Play that edge out over the course of every 25, 50, 100 trades you take. It all works out. But check it out, guys. We've had a daily squeeze at Starbucks since the beginning of July. My game is, hey, can I buy it on Monday? And regardless of time frame, can I be sitting on a profit maybe Tuesday, Wednesday? All right, daily squeeze, they pop it, they flush it, they pop, they fart. No buy trigger, no sell trigger. And you're buying calls, buying puts. We all hate Starbucks, and then trigger. All right, I've maybe got a pitch here. Let me go get my additional context. Go figure out what part of, what sector is Starbucks part of. So this is also awesome. On the beta version, we'll have columns for individual market groups. So you're going to jump on the main page of that beta version. You might see, for example, hey, we have today the XLP's in first place. You then can go sort by show me nothing but XLP names. It cranks them out, sorts them from strongest to weakest, weekly charts, all your time frames. Again, taking this nice process, making it even better. I'm in a neutral bullish market. I have a great XLP. All right, let me go dig a little bit deeper. Who's the best in show? Then for the squeeze tab, take it a step further. All right, if I really want to focus on XLP holdings, show me who's strongest. Also show me who has a really good squeeze. And show me that across pretty much any time frame we could think of. It's going to get really good, guys, I'm telling you. So I would figure out, all right, where's Starbucks here in terms of weakness? What part of the sector is it in? But all by itself, yeah, that's a beautiful short. What I'm trying to preach is when I've taken that short in the past, checking every single box on that one chart, and I ignore the other things, the results are a little bit more mixed. They're good, but I want great results. If this is part of the weakest sector, the weakest name on the board, that's I'm being a broken record, but it's important. It's not a guaranteed paycheck. And we fool ourselves into thinking it should be. All right, I got his indicator. Here's the arrow, checking all the boxes. I got short. I got that cash coming tomorrow. Mark Douglas, chapter 7, 8, 9, 10. Your edge plays out over the course of a series of trades. You're along for the ride. So yeah, Starbucks looking like a great short. Okay, so seeing a few comments here. So one great thing about doing the launch of the dashboard here with Sunil, his team, one problem I've wanted to fix for all of us is the whole Thinkorswim versus TradingView versus any platform thing. Meaning right now, I love these squeeze watchlist columns. They're my favorite. But if you guys are on maybe TradingView, you're on Fidelity, Interactive Brokers, Tastyworks, you can't get that. And I think that's super important. Wake up, look at the indexes. All right, where's my immediate pitch? Now we'll have that squeeze tab on the beta version. You don't need Thinkorswim. So you could be trading on Tasty Trades, Interactive Brokers. You're going to get all this data. I think that's awesome. All right, keep on scrolling through here. But yeah, guys, thanks for coming out. I loving all the feedback I'm seeing here. You guys could attend probably 1,000 different trading webinars this week. I try my hardest. If I'm going to bring you something, it should be really meaningful. My whole thought is, hey, if I have a kid in a few years, my kid says, hey, Dad, I want to be the next big squeeze trader. All right, take this ranking system, take these arrows. Good luck, Junior. Hey, what's up, Miss Deb? Am I doing weekly puts and calls? Yes, that's more a function of the time frame. Good example. We jump in tomorrow. We're going to take a big swing position off of the XLP monthly chart. These can make for really big moves. We got a $91 target here. Bigger time frame, I think you lean towards more time. Monthly chart, we're talking maybe 50, 60, 90 plus days of expiration. If we're getting busy tomorrow on the XLF, maybe 15-minute. If I'm on the money and that 15-minute squeeze works, I don't need 5, 10, 15, 20 days. So I would say your 1-hour charts, 30-minute, 15, 5. I do like those couple of days to maybe 10 days out to expiration. If we're going to go play a daily squeeze in Broadcom, we would not do that yet, right? 9 things are missing. But if it's a daily squeeze, 2, 4 plus weeks. And in terms of strike selection, that's a function of implied volatility, the cost of entry, and, a few different variables. I would say as a general statement, I'm a fan of just buying a call or a put. Though I do think there's spots where a butterfly makes sense, credit spreads, debit spreads. A tool for every occasion. Hey, Dion, awesome. Yeah, I really think you're going to love it. I really do. It's my job to make sure you guys do. Yeah, if you find that, let me know. All right, guys, keep on working. Go. Okay, so Mark, now here's an interesting one. What criteria do I use to determine if I should enter a vertical or an iron condor? Okay, so iron condor, we're banking on what? A lack of direction. If I'm doing an iron condor, I want to stay very far away from these guys. Like, hey, I'm just juicing over here. 100%, 120 points. I'm locked and loaded. And then maybe an AMAT. A little bit more bearish, beaten down. That points towards we want to rally. That points towards maybe we want to flush. Something like the energy sector. The definition of lame, it gets a grand total of a -1, which is actually, in a weird way, tough to do. It's tough to be that neutral. That could change a minute after I saw my iron condor, which for the record is kind of my luck with iron condors. But that one to me screams lack of any kind of clear, big, explosive direction. If the premiums make sense, yeah, you sell the out-the-money call, sell the out-the-money put. If I'm thinking butterfly, I want that directional aspect. I can buy my butterfly today, catch that push towards my target, ideally ASAP. And then butterfly, I think you're factoring in implied volatility, cost of entry, etc. But for an iron condor neutral play, I'm looking for neutral scores. Directional plays, buying a call, selling a put credit spread, call credit spread, debits, butterflies, all the other animals. Then I'm looking for signs of strength or signs of weakness. That's a great question, Mark. Most folks usually ask, what about the longs or shorts? The neutral factor can also play in. Which actually, Mark, you've given me one more thing to keep me up at night now. I'm actually going to write that down. That might be an interesting little case study. Shout out to Mark for the idea. See, you guys are already giving me things to work with. You're already helping me out. David, can we use extended time? I can ask Sunil. I don't want to speak for him, but I think we can do just about anything. So guys, email me, DM me, send me a letter, send me a carrier pigeon. Anything you want to think of, throw it at me. I'll throw it back to him. We'll see if we can make it happen. That's a great thing is you can make the tweaks on that beta version. Different criteria, different variables, assorting, things you guys can add for yourself. So this is it's a live scanner, live ranking system, live. We're live, baby. We're just live. And no, Lyndall, so the Big Three Squeeze class will be on Saturday, the 30th of August, which is what? That's going to be next Saturday, right? Yeah, I got to go get my party hat. The strategy class will be Saturday the 30th, and that's going to be like a 4-hour full breakdown of, what are our 15 points? What's our trending criteria? What structure? Why does it matter? Squeezes, entries, exits, and then a lot of things you guys are asking. When would I buy a debit spread? When do we go for a butterfly? When should it be half my typical size trade? When should I size up on this trade? Scores, rankings, all the great things. And maybe a few laughs in between. All right, y'all, a few more here. It is 9:09 p.m. You guys are funny. Yeah, if I can find the special pill, I will definitely let you guys know. Yeah, so every class we do is recorded. If you got something to do with your family, you got to take your wife out for a good lunch at Chili's. You got some chores on the weekend. Yeah, fully recorded. We put it up on the class page, and you can watch as your schedule allows. But again, here's what I'm asking from you guys. I'm going to do the work I can do on my end. When we get together next Saturday for the class, again, email it to me, DM it to me, bring it to the class. Literally any ideas you guys have, please throw them at me. Like it might sound like the craziest idea possible. Maybe we can't do it, but we'll think if we can, or we'll look into if we can. Yeah, so Tom, there's a couple of new scans here that I got to put one more finishing touch on. They were really good this morning. I figured out how to make them even better. So I'm going to wrap it up tonight, and then on the indicator page, a scan should be there ideally early in the morning. But yeah, I'm kind of building out a super scan for you guys. Criteria, squeezy, entry, all of the big three sweetness. Max, awesome question. Is this system any good in the futures? Okay, so Max, you gave me another idea. We should maybe have a tab somewhere to rank the futures. What do y'all think about that? Actually, you know what? I want it, so we'll do it. Yeah, oh man, I'm pumped. All these ideas. I want a tab for rankings on the YM, the RUT, the NQ, the GC, the ES, the BTC. Give me all the futures. I've become a big fan of trading the futures really more so over the last year. and I don't do anything differently. I'm a one-trick pony, guys. Options, futures, equity, monthly chart, 5-minute, 15-minute. So if I'm going to take a swing trade here on the NQ, give me something like my 2-day squeeze. Fresh green arrow, brand new squeeze, green entry label. It all sets up. Here's the NQ daily chart from, here's back in late June. Squeeze sets up, got the white arrow. Never quite got the trigger right at the sweet spot. But if you like to swing trade the futures, same rules apply. I've had the same success. And so I'm kind of at a point where I'm trying to divvy things into 2 different groups in my own account. I've got, call it the stock trades, tech, semis, financials, all the stock tickers, and then I have cash indexes and futures. My goal right now is the stock trades. I'm buying NVIDIA, we're buying Google. That's cash I keep in my account. That grows my account. Over time gives you more firepower to work with. And then these trades I do in futures. I'm an early bird, so sometimes I'm taking 5-minute squeezes on the NQ, like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. Those trades I wire out at the end of the week. That's my income. We're paying bills, mortgages, going to Chili's. And then when I'm back in December, here comes the old Apple. The perfect weekly squeeze. I take that with size. I keep that profit in my account. And everything compounds. Your base hits get bigger. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But no, I love the futures. I really do. That being said, S&P futures on the 2-day time frame. I would buy that, but I wouldn't buy it yet. I can teach you guys why I wouldn't buy it yet. The YM. 2-day squeeze, green arrow. I like that for a futures trade. We had a lot of great trades this year on 15-minute, 30-minute hourly gold futures charts. Now why? I'm not some gold savant. They gave us layups. We don't want to take the behind the back half court shots, take layups. This is back earlier in the year. For like 2-3 weeks, gold's just number 1, 2, or 3. Look at me and buy me, look at me and buy me, pay attention, I'm bullish, I got the goods. We were picking that thing off on pretty much every good lower time frame squeeze we got. So yeah, very much a swing trading, day trading, or a scalping. Yeah, Mark, thank you for being here. Much appreciated, and I'll see you in the AM. All right, guys, a couple more here. No, Taraka, so not at all. So here's my hope for all of us, guys. You take everything we're building out here together, and you all have different time frames of preference. Some of you are day traders, some of you are scalpers, some swing traders. I'm sure a few of you are buying shares, buying leaps. Time frame to time frame, all the same rules apply. I love that 0 day till expiration. So how would I play that game? Who is the strongest and weakest of my cash indexes? Cash S&Ps, could look at the NDX, QQQ. All right, figure that out. And then for a 0 day till expiration trade, I'm looking for the white or the green arrow squeeze on a 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, maybe the hourly. Any of that for tomorrow. All right, 15-minute squeeze here for the Qs. Can't buy or to short it. And see how quickly I figured that out? There's some structure, momentum. It doesn't matter. No trigger. But if that had either a red arrow or a green arrow, that'd be my 0 day till expiration trade. And that's something I do want to do more moving forward in the room from an income kind of point of view. Those small base hits can add up. So yeah, we've had a few situations over the last year where the spreadsheet kind of dictated you guys got to go back to more of a day trade focus. Bigger time frames taking a chill pill, things are more so neutral, but we can find our spots down on the 15-minute, a 30, the hourly, and the best part is I don't have to figure that out for myself. As we drift from bullish back to neutral, bullish back to neutral, my time frame begins to decrease. Bullish market, locked and loaded, everything primo for a pump. All right, weekly charts, monthly charts, daily squeeze, 2-day squeeze. We slip back to neutral bullish, right? That's your total score under 50%. I maybe want to look at more 2-hour, hourly charts. We get to a very neutral market. I want to live and breathe maybe 1 hour, 30, 15, 5. So again, the whole goal is taking context from the entire scoring system. Where should I look? How should I look to do it? And then with our tools, go out there and do it. In that whole foundation, that process, that routine, all things I lay out there in the Saturday strategy class. But all right, guys, I'm going to cut you loose here. Been going for about an hour and 15. But again, thank you all for coming through. Like I said, you got a couple hundred different trading webinars you could join per week. I appreciate y'all being here. We appreciate it. The team appreciates it. And yeah, I appreciate the team giving me a chance to embark on these endeavors. If I'm not here at Simpler, I can think of the ideas, I can build the spreadsheets, but I can't by myself turn these into things I think a lot of us will use for the rest of our career. So I'm super pumped. Let me give y'all one more quick look here at the slides, and then again, you can reach out to customer service. You can hit me up through email, Twitter, Instagram, all of the socials. But as mentioned, if you have the indicators from last year or previously, make sure you're logged into your Simpler account. You should see your special offer. If you don't, reach out to customer service and they'll get you sorted. And then, all right, so member pricing. If you're in any of our rooms here, basic package for $447, Big 3 squeeze system class on the 30th of August, the big 4-hour shebang. You get all the big 3 squeeze indicators, the histogram, the colored arrows. You get all of the labels. You get the buy and the sell signals. You get the watch list columns, the brand new entry labels, the brand new big 3 squeeze bars, the brand new squeeze. What the basic package won't give you is access to the upcoming beta version and the quarterly access to my live room. $897, the pro package, access to all the indicators, the class, quarterly access to my room, and the beta access for 90 days. Which I think is good. If we gave y'all like 10, 15 days, that's too limited. Hey, listen, if you guys can give this a shot for 90 days, I think you're going to fall in love. And then pricing here for non-members. So if you're not a member of the rooms here, basic package for $497, strategy class, all the indicators, again, $497. That does not give you access to the beta version and the mastery. Pro package, $997, all the indicators, the Saturday class, 90 days of access to the beta version and the access to the compounding room for a quarter. So that's my ask. Give me a quarter of your time. Take the indicator, take the spreadsheet, and just while you're at it, listen to some Mark Douglas in the background. And I think over the course of a quarter, we're all going to collectively get that much better. We got our tools in place, then we got to get down and get to work. And then we have the schedule here again and the PayPal credit. But all right, guys, thank you again. I think this went really well. Again, big shout out to Sunil. You're a pro, my friend. You're more than welcome to do my next webinar. But yeah, guys, thank you. Much appreciated. Yeah, I can't say enough. I'm really excited. I think for myself, those of you in the room, and then really those of you out of our ecosystem, this should be something we all can all benefit from. And I'll ask you one more time, any ideas at all? It could seem super small, it could seem like a crazy idea. Anything you could possibly think of, throw that my way. We'll see what we can do. This is for all of us, guys. So thank y'all again. Have a great night. Be safe. And I shall see you on the mic tomorrow. Adios, y'all. Thank you again.